This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
We start a two-part series on the local response to Roe v. Wade being overturned next. Hello and thanks for being with us today. I'm Ken Carr with your local information. Last week, the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and with it, the constitutional right to an abortion. Each state will now decide the legality of abortion. Tomorrow on the news, a representative from Planned Parenthood will talk about the decision. Today, Lisa Sugard speaks with a woman from our area who has fought for the pro-life movement for a number of years.
I'm pleased to be joined now by Mary Ann Laud. Mary Ann is the president of Pennsylvanians for Human Life, the Greater Hazleton Area Chapter. She is also executive director of the Voice of John, which is the educational arm of the pro-life movement. And she's also a registered nurse. Mary Ann, what was your reaction when you heard the decision from the United States Supreme Court?
It was probably the most overwhelming moment for me to hear those words. And actually, how I heard it was somebody called and said, the voice of John has been heard today. And I knew immediately that that meant the overturn of Roe versus Wade. And there was an immediate sense of 63 million children dead, what the death toll looked like from that decision, Roe versus Wade. An image of marches for life and carnation sales and standing outside abortion clinics and prayer groups and, this grassroots effort that started 50 years ago, a half a century, and to finally hear those words, Roe has been overturned. So it was a tremendous sense of relief. And for a day it was truly exuberance for an entire 24 hours, just realizing that the prayers and the work of so many people had been answered. The prayers were answered, and imagining all the lives that would be saved because of the strength of that U.S. Supreme Court and their decision to overturn Roe.
Now, Mary Ann, for people who aren't familiar with you, we've talked to you many times. You have a very important story to tell on why you are so involved in Pennsylvanians for Human Life, because as a nurse, you had a horrific experience.
I did. And it was 1977 when I really threw my whole heart and soul into this. I was a young nurse back in 1977, and I had accepted a position in obstetrics after having done a year of oncology. And it was kind of time for a change. I was young and, looking for, I'll see life at its first breath now. And so I took a position in the obstetrical unit, and it was my very first night. I was still carrying a clipboard with me to try to make sure I did everything right. And I checked the labor rooms and delivery rooms, medication rooms. But the last thing on my list was to go in and check the dirty utility room, that it was cleaned up from the shift before. And as soon as I walked in, I heard just like a little sound. I quick turned on the light, and there was a child laying naked on the table. And I went out and I said, I just found a baby on the dirty utility room counter. And I was admonished, don't touch it. It's an abortion. It's an abortion. And I went back in thinking, perhaps it was a miscarriage, and I thought I heard a sound, or I thought I saw it moved. And I went back in and I looked, and there was a little boy, and he was squirming, and he was making a very faint little cry. So again, I went out, I said, it's a baby. That baby is alive. The doctor got a little upset, and he, kind of put his hand up. He said, don't touch it. It's an abortion. And somebody else said, it'll be dead. And I went back in and I baptized the baby. I picked the baby up. I wrapped him in a soiled blanket. I used the very water that had just been used in the killing procedure. I cupped my hand and I poured a little bit over his head. I baptized him. His name is John. And I learned the lessons of his life. And the lessons of his life one of the first things I said to him, I said, John, if your mommy could see you the way I do, she wouldn't have done this. And so for these past 45 years, my involvement has been as an educator, that every mommy would see their child through my eyes and the beauty of the child that she carried. So from here, where do we go? I invite our community. I invite everybody. July 5th, there will be a meeting at St. Gabriel's on South Wyoming Street in Hazleton. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, wherever you stand on this position, I want to hear. We have got to stop yelling at each other, talking over each other. Let's talk to each other and really listen to the concerns and speak to the concerns that I'm hearing through the media.
Today's news feature is brought to you by Feisner's Ford in Freeland, who is celebrating 75 years in business. Give them a call at 570-636-3920, or you can log on to feisnersford.com.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service on Thursday. Sunny with a high near 82 degrees. Thursday night mostly clear with a low around 62 degrees. Friday sunny with a high near 87 degrees. On Friday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 66 degrees. We have a 50% chance of precipitation. On Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8 a.m., then a chance of showers between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., then showers and possibly a thunderstorm after 2 p.m. We'll have a high near 78 degrees, and we have an 80% chance of precipitation. On Saturday night, showers and possibly a thunderstorm before 8 p.m., then a chance of showers between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. We'll have a low around 61 degrees and an 80% chance of precipitation. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 80 degrees, and Sunday night mostly clear with a low around 60 degrees. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton was honored by the American Hospital Association for 75 years of participation and leadership in the AHA. Rick Pollock, the president and CEO of the AHA, thanks LVH Hazleton for its contributions to the field of medicine and says they've built a model for building partnerships that expands healthcare beyond hospital beds and into communities. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton offers inpatient acute care, rehab care, maternity and home care, and is an accredited primary stroke center and level 4 trauma center. Coming up, it's a full day of fun this 4th of July weekend in the city of Hazleton. On Saturday, we'll preview the second annual Independence Day charity event that features a 5K race, live music, autographs from professional athletes, and more. And later in sports, Shenandoah Valley graduate and Villanova University baseball commit Luke Matta talks about dealing with adversity while helping the Blue Devils basketball and baseball teams from the sidelines while dealing with an injury during his senior year.
The Peach Music Festival will be held on Sunday, July 3rd at Montage Mountain. Music will begin at 12 noon. For more information, you can visit peachmusicfestival.com. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Nathan B. Began of Drifton, the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home, will announce their arrangements. And Lawrence A. Trovich, age 84, of West Hazleton. Services will be private under the Frank J. Bonham Funeral Home.
Tonight's obituaries are being brought to you in part by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory, with 2 locations in Rockland and in Drums, 570-384-3312 or 570-788-0977. And go to harmonfuneral.com.